What's up, YouTube? Your life is going to change very dramatically. But the most important part of this journey, guys, is to understand that there's no such thing as luck. And if you want to appear to experience greater luck, as far as the appearance of things, where you seem to experience greater luck, the choices you're going to make are going to be well outside of your comfort zone. Routinely, not every split second. It's going to be a lot of fun choices, a lot of freeing choices. It's going to be very enjoyable. A lot of the time, you're going to be following your fun. But some of the decisions you make are going to feel really scary. They're going to feel unpleasant. Not because they need to, but because the ego just fights, screams, and kicks. It just wants to pull you back into your comfort zone, into the unlucky decisions that seem to bedevil a lot of folks. The lucky moments, the lucky occurrences, the lucky opportunities, all that good stuff happens, unfolds. And of course, there's no such thing as luck, but if somebody appears to be living a really lucky life, they made a series of very highly uncomfortable decisions, likely for a long time. Not every moment, but over a series of years, maybe a decade, maybe a decade and a half, on and off. And again, this doesn't mean the whole time they were just totally uncomfortable, they felt totally uncomfortable the whole time. No, that's not the case, guys. This is not torture. This is not some endless journey of self-flagellation where you're just beating yourself up and pushing and straining and striving. No. However, I mean, you're going to be following your fun, following your passion. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be freeing. It's going to be liberating. It's going to be awesome a lot of the time. Yet some of the time, you will need to make highly uncomfortable decisions that involve facing the fear of failure and feeling it, feeling the fear of criticism, feeling the fear of rejection, feeling the fear of appearing to, a lot of cases, lose it all as far as worldly resources. Ultimately, guys, leaving your comfort zone to experience luck, which doesn't exist because the world is just your mind reflected back to you. There's no such thing as luck. If your experience is your mind, your belief system being reflected back to you, because we're all one mind, and the world just reflects that back to you, your experience, then there's no such thing as luck involved in that reflection. It's just what's going on in your mind. However, some experiences may seem totally out of pattern to you because a lot of this mind stuff is entirely unconscious. So you'll be thinking, oh, I didn't want that. Why did that come to me? I didn't want this unlucky experience. It's because you had unconscious beliefs you're not even conscious of, you're not even aware of, that reflect back to you in sometimes some pretty dire straits, some dire circumstances, or at least appears to be. And those appear to be very unlucky. But in truth, guys, there's no such thing as luck. However, if you want to appear to live a lucky life, air quotes, don't set up your phone on your laptop like that. You will want to leave your comfort zone. That's where your freedom is. That's where your fun is. That's where your joy is. That's where your fulfillment is. If you stay in your comfort zone, nothing will change. You won't have fun in life if you stay within your comfort zone. You won't free yourself in this life if you stay within your comfort zone. You won't feel fulfilled if you make comfortable choices. You won't enjoy life if you make comfortable choices. You won't experience great worldly success, and enjoy the ride if you make comfortable choices. You gotta do stuff. Oh, I feel like a cramp coming on there. That sometimes, just once in a blue moon, or maybe a little more frequently, that scares you a little bit, that makes you feel uncomfortable, stirs up some self-consciousness, that stirs up some fear, fear of criticism, the fear of rejection. You got to do it, guys, because if you don't, you'll be living in your comfort zone. And if you live in your comfort zone, life's not going to be happy. It'll be depressing. You'll feel sad. And you'll appear to be very unlucky up here. I'm not saying you are, because luck doesn't exist. The world is just your mind reflected back to you. In many cases, it seems confusing because these beliefs are unconscious. You've pushed them out of the awareness, out of your awareness. You don't even know why these wacky things are happening or tough things. But if you're willing to dig deeper and deeper into your mind, and even coming across that truth, starting to realize it a little bit more each day, that's going to take you deciding to step outside of your comfort zone. Figuring out that the world, discovering that the world is your experience, is your mind being reflected back to you. That takes a decision to leave your comfort zone mentally and to follow strategies, tactics, whether it be meditating, doing various forms of yoga, reading, studying, and applying A Course in Miracles. These are all very uncomfortable choices because they stir up your fears, they rattle your cage a bit, they shake up your definition of the world, your reality. You thought life was one way. You knew it. Living outside in, same crap, different day. Life's a struggle. You have all these beliefs, and then someone comes along and says the world, your experience, is your mind being reflected back to you. If you decide to step into that statement a little bit, it's going to feel really uncomfortable because you will begin to own the truth that your life has been your mind. Your experience has been your mind. That's it. It's incredibly freeing, but it's uncomfortable because most people, they feel that real egoic ick, that discomfort, that just of, well, I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want this to happen. That wasn't my fault. I was the victim here. It was their fault. And you see, guys, that's the type of stuff that has to go for you to be free of what appears to be very unlucky circumstances, because it's not unlucky. It's your mind. Your experience is your mind being reflected back to you. There's just one mind in reality. So if something's unfolding, it's in essence you. You could say it's a part of you, but it just is you. There's really no separation. That's another illusion, that you'll leave your comfort zone and begin to let go, living through your senses, and you begin training your mind. These are certain realities, certain truths that you will slowly and surely accept as you make scary decisions, as you make uncomfortable decisions. And as you share this vantage point, this viewpoint with the world, even though you know that it may trigger in some minds the belief of, what is this person, nuts? I read a tweet earlier today about a young person who wanted to circle the globe. They were in university, in college, and they did not, as of now. They want to, but they're afraid to because they fear that they will be letting people down, letting a lot of people down. So think about that statement for a moment. And it's really a very common fear in the mind that makes life appear to be very unlucky. Someone has this fun, freeing, blissful dream of circling the globe, thumbs up, and in the next moment, the ego says, no, you can't do that because I will let you know right now, you better be afraid of doing it because you will be letting so many other people down. Think of how insane, not the person, but that belief is. Whose life is that person living? Their own lives, the kid in university, or the lives of those other people? Are those other people living their life? No. Yet, if he makes that decision based on not his fun and his joy in his mind, but based on the fear of letting other people down who have expectations of him, none of which have to do with him and all of which have to do with themselves and their own projected guilt, then he will appear to make a lot of unlucky choices. And he may look at someone whose life appears to be very lucky and say, ah, they're lucky. Everything just fell together for them. They stepped in poop, quote unquote, as the saying is. But, well, I think definitely the connotation may be lost outside of that translation here. But long and the short of it, oh, they're lucky. No. People who appear to be lucky made a lot of uncomfortable choices. That's the only reason why they live that life. If they didn't make those uncomfortable choices, they would appear to be very unlucky. Everything is so precise, guys. There are no victims in the world because we're all just one mind. And we experience our minds, our belief system reflected back to us. Not only is that not unlucky, it makes you unbelievably powerful. Hey, Amelia. Beyond your imagination, ultimately. Or let's just say your imagination is limitless and that's your power. When you begin to think about that statement, that may feel uncomfortable at first too. But it's a necessary step to live a much luckier life. Because when you start realizing that you're dreaming your life and that you're picturing it, you may say, I've pictured a pretty, in moments, or maybe for a long time, a pretty rough life. I've dreamed it, and this is what I'm getting. Not that you deserve it. You deserve only fun and freedom and joy and bliss. That's why you were created in the mind of God. You're unlimited because you're mind, and the mind is unlimited, especially when you're working with the divine. Not especially, only. If you're working with the ego mind, oh no, it's not going to be good. It's going to be very unlucky. You got to make uncomfortable choices to get there. You got to make decisions that will make you feel like you're alone at times, even though you're not, because there's only one mind. So you're only surrounded by love. Yet when you start stepping to the side, there's like this beaten path in life, the unlucky path. Life sucks, do this, do that. Look outside for solutions, government, politicians, blah, laws, man-made laws, blah, blah, blah. Look there for the answers. And it's this very unlucky, miserable cycle that's happening only in the mind of the individual who's getting that reflection. So it appears to be very unlucky. When you see people who appear to be really lucky, they make decisions to step out of that fear-based scarcity, egoic mentality where they say, I'm going to live inside out. And in a world that's made in hate, when you step away from that, the world's not going to like that too much. It's not a popular decision. Because as each person wakes up in their mind, it dissolves the world that's made in hate. And we start seeing that we're just one mind. And all this other jazz is just egoic garbage. But it's going to feel uncomfortable. So a lot of people may think you're crazy. And you have to sit with the fear of criticism. People may appear to reject you. And you have to sit with the fear of rejection. People may criticize you. And you have to sit with the fear of criticism. Everything may appear to fall apart. And by that, I mean, when you make these shifts in the mind, there are times where the worldly stuff, the worldly things, relationships, success, money, whatever, status, popularity, that usually goes away for a while as you get this clear. Why? Because those are things you valued when you lived outside in. And as your values shift from outside into inside out, where you're not looking outside of yourself for answers. You're going to get more of those inner answers, which feels incredibly peaceful. And then the worldly outside stuff, you could have it. It's not that you're foregoing it or forgiving it. Well, you're forgiving it for sure from your mind, but it's not like you're rejecting it. But naturally, guys, when you realize that all the answers are within, your life will be about having fun, trusting, loving, making friends, being truly helpful. It'll be all high energy love and less fear, or more and more love, less fear. So, of course, as you do less from fear and more from love, you could have the worldly success. But naturally, a lot of things or stuff or form, images, they're just going to fade away. That's why enlightened beings are usually not really looking for much at all in the world. They're always not looking for anything in the world because they see that it's an illusion. But these unlucky decisions, guys, if life appears to be really unlucky, you have some serious inner work to do as far as mind training. It's going to be uncomfortable. A lot of folks, okay, my wife Kelly and I have been circling the globe for 12 years now as digital nomads. I mean, the past 2 to 3, I mean, now we're talking years of just being true digital nomads without any home base. We just travel nonstop. Some people say, you guys are so lucky. I wish I could do that. So in their minds, they believe in an idea of luck and they believe that they can't do it. So their experience is reflected back to them as a lack of luck. Other people who are doing this are lucky and they can only live the life that they're living. That is their belief system. And of course it is, because that's the only way they could have that experience mirrored back to them. Forgiving, letting go, facing the fears that have compelled you to believe in luck can be really uncomfortable. And there's going to be a series of uncomfortable, sometimes unpleasant decisions to forgive that fear, where you have to say, it doesn't always have to be, but in most cases it is, where you finally have to say luck had nothing to do with it. Because once you stop making the excuse of luck, then you have to look at your mind truthfully, and you will be, if you want to move towards your dreams and have fun and enjoy life and be free, you will be making a series of decisions which will rocket you outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so Ryan and Kelly aren't lucky. They made these decisions to start these things called online businesses so they could travel the world and make a living from anywhere in the world remotely. All you need is an internet connection. So if you're working a 9-to-5 job, which feels very unlucky to you, when you just happen to be in that zone right now, and that's fine, you'll understand that once you face and let go of the luck excuse, and you realize it's decisions in the mind being reflected back to you and not luck that doesn't exist, that caused them, not caused them, but that was the basis of them changing their lives. You're going to have to make those decisions too. And when you're working a 9-to-5 job and you appear to be really busy, you have habits, you just want to come home, relax, turn on the TV, put back a cup of cocos, and unwind because you feel stressed, when you have to slowly but surely, or maybe dramatically, but usually slowly but surely, change those habits from unwinding and distressing with distractions. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay. We've all done it at times. We all do it sometimes. To doing a little bit of meditating to become aware of the fear in your mind that's causing the stress, because it's coming from within. It always does. And then maybe blogging for a half hour a night or an hour, learning how to blog, building a foundation, because you feel the intuitive pull. Let's say you just feel that intuitively. Spirit's telling you, yeah, start this blogging bit based on something you're passionate about. Let's move towards that life of circling the globe. All of your excuses are going to come into awareness, and feeling any excuse and letting it go feels uncomfortable because they're all backed 100% by fear. So how does it feel to feel fear? Not good. Not good at all. Yet you have to actually let go of the excuse. You see what I mean, guys? To start making the lucky decisions. Not that it exists, but where to make those decisions to move into that life where you could circle the globe if it feels so amazing and freeing to you. That's going to be uncomfortable, so prepare for it and don't treat it like it's the end of the world. Remember coming across a quote, I forget who said it, some wise person from the past. And he said, most people would rather die than think. Now, a lot of minds watching this live broadcast on Facebook and YouTube would laugh and say, ha ha, that sounds funny. Yeah, people making stupid decisions. He meant it literally, and he spoke the truth. Most people appear to live and die on this insane planet without deeply thinking through who they are, discovering that being, that unlimited being, which is mind, and then making decisions predominantly from love, deliberately thinking through the process, training their mind, and not from fear. And if you look around, guys, in the illusion, you'll see most people genuinely do die before really thinking. I mean, thinking deeply. I'm not talking about 5 minutes of meditating to become aware of your mind and its monkey mind jumping from here to there. I mean, you start thinking through, training your mind. You have to think yourself right now. Think, use your mind and think when you're watching this video. How many comfortable choices am I making in my life right now that put me right where I am? And how many uncomfortable choices am I making? How many times do I deeply fear making uncomfortable choices because most of the minds, most of the people, really minds around me are making comfortable choices and warn me about making the uncomfortable choices because there are risks there. Guys, that stuff is drilled into our minds. You have to be very honest about this. And being honest could be really uncomfortable too, just to the ego. But the only way you will be free and have fun and live your dreams is by routinely stepping, baby step, outside of your comfort zone. And as you do that, guys, something really cool happens as far as the reflection. The minds that appeared to be holding you back, they never were, you won't be getting those reflections as much. So you won't be having people in your life that are telling you it's so risky, it's dangerous, don't do this, don't do that. Just work a job and get a paycheck and get married and have kids and retire and die. It's usually how it shakes out, right? Nothing wrong with that life. There's nothing right with that life. A lot of people who live it are not making freeing, fun, blissful, uncomfortable decisions from time to time solely because a lot of folks living those lives deeply resist what their heart tells them, guides them to do. I shouldn't say tells them, guides them. And evidence of that is the fact that a lot of people complain about their lives. They complain about their job, they complain about this, complain about that. When it becomes this blanket complaint where life appears to be really unlucky, a lot of victim mentality, you are making comfortable, depressing, scared decisions, which will keep you in your comfort zone, depressed and unhappy. You need to begin making fun, freeing, sometimes really scary, uncomfortable decisions to break free in your mind of that life. And then you'll be experiencing different reflections. And it's a process. It's baby stepping. So let's say you're working a 9-to-5 job. You're like, I want to circle the globe like Ryan and his wife more than anything. Perfect. That's the perfect starting point. Now it's time where you're working your 9-to-5 job. You know, pay your bills. You don't have a lot saved up. So keep working that job. Now it's time to buy your domain and hosting. There's a part of you that's like, man, this blogging looks so fun. Let me think it through for a few nights. So you spend maybe a half hour, an hour and a half each night after work researching blogging. You have something you're passionate about, done a little homework through Google, Answer the Public, Quora, Reddit, looking around. You're like, man, there's demand for it. I'm diving in. I'm going to circle the globe. That's it. And you make that decision, which could be really uncomfortable because the split second you do, the ego in your mind, that ridiculous fear-based voice is going to be like, you're making a mistake. Don't risk it. And then sometimes you'll have these witnesses. People will be reflecting those doubts back to you. Mom, dad, sister, brother, wife, husband, family, friends. That's dangerous. That's too risky. Don't leave. It's dangerous. Be safe. No, you should be safe. No, you should hold on to your job. You have a good job. You worked this job for so long. It's a really good job. It's very high paying. You have your benefits. Just stick with that. Don't waste the time with the blogging. I heard it's dangerous. There's terrorism out there. You can't try. All that shit will come up in your mind. And that's the beginning of when you choose freedom over fear. And that's the beginning point, not endlessly, but there's these intense stretches where it does, short stretches, brief stretches. These are the uncomfortable feelings you have to face head on, dead on, in order to forgive them, to feel them, to look past them, which feels unpleasant, and to move towards freedom, to buy your domain and hosting, to spend an hour a night blogging, first learning from pros. And again, guys, I offer blogging courses and blogging ebooks at bloggingfromparadise.com. I sell them as guides for you. If you want to live this really cool life of travel, you start by learning from someone who does it. And of course, I have blog posts as well, but the courses and the ebooks are helpful because they're really robust. They're very in-depth. So then you make the uncomfortable decision, even sometimes you don't quite entirely feel like it, to learn blogging each night, to start writing your next post each night, to, not saying post daily, but let's say you write and publish a post a week, or write and publish post every 2 weeks. So doing a little bit of networking. And then you see those habits at night as they shift from just sitting back, de-stressing, distracting yourself, watching TV or streaming video. As you put in that hour, it's just going to feel uncomfortable sometimes, which is exactly why you need to desire freedom and a little bit of discomfort at times, or maybe some deep discomfort at times, over fear and comfort and unhappiness and depression. It's mind training. What was that, the Ford GT again? We're in a very posh neighborhood here, guys. We're in the Notting Hill area, and I saw a Ford GT go sound like Satan revving up and just bellowing down the block. This is a almost 700,000 USD car from the US, but here in London, hypercars, crazy car scenes. Awesome. So guys, we're coming up on a half hour. I'll be eating dinner soon. I just wanted to broadcast live to talk about these lucky experiences, circling the globe, living your dreams. You're going to make uncomfortable decisions to get there, because the comfortable decisions you've been making have put you in some unlucky circumstances. But again, guys, luck doesn't exist, because the world, your experience in the world, is just your mind being reflected back to you, since we're all one mind. Even if there appears to be separation, that illusion. An appearance isn't true. It's a lie. It's not true. One mind is truth. But getting there, living your dreams, having fun, being truly helpful, it requires making uncomfortable decisions. So don't treat it like the plague when you have that feeling of like, oh, I don't quite want to do this, but I know it's ultimately be fun and freeing, and oh, I'm not going to do that. See a lot of folks just sprint in the other direction back to their comfort zone, and then you look around and you see the world, and it's like, yeah, there's just a lot of scared, unhappy minds that, as they predominantly, as we're doing it, make more fun, freeing, uncomfortable choices, we all wake up and we see the one mind that we really are. But as much as that's awesome, there's a worldly part of you that likes worldly success or living your individual dreams, that stuff will start to come together for you too. But you need to keep at it. Like, look at me on this video now, after many 10,000 plus videos since 2008. I could speak like this with you, guiding, bonding, connecting. My first video, guys, in 2008, I did over 30 takes for like a 2-minute long video. I had to make many uncomfortable decisions to get here right now, to have the skills to be able to do this, to practice for a long time. And those practice periods were uncomfortable sometimes. That's how the shit goes, guys. You're not going to be living your dreams in your comfort zone. Practicing to this level rockets you outside of your comfort zone sometimes. Other times it's just a smidge bit. And then other times, as your skills increase, it's quite comfortable to do things that a lot of people say, oh my goodness, how does he do that? He's a natural. He's practiced a lot, especially in moments where I felt uncomfortable. So thanks so much, Osman and Amelia and everybody watching in the future. As a call to action, guys, you could stop by my blog called bloggingfromparadise.com. That's my website. If you have any questions, go to the contact page, ask away. We have blog posts, we have blogging courses, and we have blogging ebooks that guide you to live your dreams through blogging. Until next time, you know what to do. Signing off from beautiful London. Enjoy paradise.